Shalom, welcome to Kabbalah Academy. Time for two words, namely knowing, to know, and truth, to know the truth. Okay, and to know would be a kuf for the K, which is skull, a nun for the N, which is soul or fish, or 50, which is its value. Kuf is 100. A Vav for the O, which means top of the nail, because the Vav is O-U-V-W. Another Vav for the W, which means many bindings. So that would be to know. And then we have truth, which would be a Tav, the hand of God, Reish, formed. A Vav for the U, which means binding. Another Tav for the other T, and a He within for the H. So let's start on the board. We'll read a little bit of Likkutei Yirah 9 later, and we'll also dive into the Torah for a certain source. Let us begin. Truth. Let us start with truth. So we had a Tav, a Reish, a Vav, another Tav, and a He. So the first thing I saw there, of course, we have the hand of God, right? Sits in the center. These four letters, because they permutate simply to, and we call that sefarim, when you rearrange the location of the letters, which is very important practice to get better understanding of the Torah, sefarim, rearranging the letters. Tav, Vav, Reish, He is the value of Torah. Has a value of 611, which in Kollel is Brit, 612. And Brit is your circumcision, your oila, your fire offering to Hashem. Let us make a tree here, because that's convenient. During our study, Keter Chochma Bina, we'll connect the Das today, because it will come along. Chesed, Gevura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hoid, Yesod, and Malchut. Because no knowledge is Das, right? So as our second word is to know, knowing, the Das will definitely be mentioned a couple of times. So, okay, so we have in the truth, we find Torah, because the truth is found in the Torah. This is why Hashem gave us the Torah, to find the truth. Okay, amongst thorns and thistles. So that should be said. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters. Okay, so it's Torah from the hand of God, right? Because it has an additional Tav there. Many more interesting permutations are found, but let us first look at the total Gematria here, is namely a Tav is 400, Reish is 200, Vav is 6, another 400 for the second Tav, and a 5 for the He. 5 plus 400, 405 plus 6, 411 plus 2, 611 plus 400 is 1011. Now 1011, that's interesting, because we simply do it like this. 1011, this is non-existing, okay? So we have a 111, which is the value of Aleph. Aleph. And Aleph is the crown, okay? That's your Aleph there, the Aleph. Also, an Aleph like this, but this is the spelling out thereof. We have a 10, you have another 10, we have a 6, it's 26, which is Yud Hey, Vav, and Hey can hint at Abba, but really you should do it so. Yud, Hey, Vav, and Hey. And then tip of the Yud would be Keter, base of the Yud would be Chochma, the upper Hey is Bina, the Vav are these 6, and the lower Hey is the Nukva. Okay, so these are all kind of traces. We'll just proceed and you'll see where this is going. So now the Katan value was interesting also because Katan is the minor. So that means this is not 400 but a 4, a 2 is 6, 12 because this is a 6 plus another 4 is 16 plus 5 is 21. And 21, so 21 is the Katan value here of 21 is Echye, Asher Echye, plus 5 letters is, plus 5 is, again your 26, okay? 26, Hashem. So all connects there. I wanted to do the following permutation also because we have 2 tafs and a vav. And 2 tafs and a vav means, especially with the Nikud, tato, to give, it's give, leaves us tato, which Hey and Reish within the forms, which is the mountain. But it gives within the forms. It provides within the forms, right? And these are the forms. Chesed, Gevura, Tiferes, Netzach, Yesod, and Malchut. So that is your spirit form, desire form, holy form, soul form, emotion form, mental form, and physical form, the Gufa. So given, the Torah is given, the truth is given to these forms because these are a great liar. The world of Sheker is built upon these 6 I hate, these 7 are an abomination. We'll read in a little bit a part of Likkutei Yirah on the forms just to keep repeating. It's all about repetition. The righteous man reads it 101, the wicked once, and the sage 1,000 times. Okay, so it's all about repetition. Don't think you're in a good place and you know, and that's exactly when you go off the derech. Okay, we need to keep ourselves occupied with Torah. So, to give on Har Sinai, the Torah was given on Har Sinai. Hey means within, Reish is the forms. These are your forms within the forms, okay? So, let us proceed. Really, what you find in truth and what they also often say is, what does the truth do? It hurts. So, you already have it. Torah, hurt. Brit, fire offering. Hey, Vav, Reish. Hurt. Another English word. It hurts. These are the same letters, right? Thorns and thistles. Fire offering on the 8th day. So 7 days under the mother. On the 8th day, a fire offering to Hashem. That direction. Okay, so we'll do a milui here. I think that's the next best step to do, a milui. But before we proceed with the milui, I want to read just a small part of Likkutei Yirah 9 with you all. So, Likkutei Yirah 9, available on bookbaby.com, amazon.com. If you cannot afford a physical copy, we have a free PDF for you available. And page 65 here, Yetzirah, Toiv, Yetzirah, the forms, see, spirit form, desire form, holy form, soul form, emotion form, mental form, physical form. Two people sharing their forms, a cumulative sum of experiences. Okay, the amalgamation of experiences, which becomes that serpent voice. So in Shah 7, Gate 7, we read about the 70 nations, which are these 7 forms, each having 10 sub-sephirot. With what has been revealed in the previous gates, we can understand the matter of who the 70 nations are. The 70 nations refer to these 7 forms and their 10 sephirot, and the nations are all who operate their lives through these forms as a governing factor. So, here it goes through all the forms. Chesed, spirit, body. Reality becomes defined by one's spiritual attainment, and it was stated in Gate 5, we have a spirit, we are not our spirit, we are choice that acts upon the spirit. Gevura, desire body. Reality becomes defined by one's desires and motives, thus a person's worth is determined by an agenda of one's desire. We have desires, we are not our desires, we are choice that acts upon desire. Next page. Tiferes, holy form. Reality becomes defined by one's higher self, and the value and quality of the environment and things around you become determined by one's perceived attainment. We have a higher self, but we are not our higher self. We are the choice that acts upon the higher self. Netzach, soul form. Reality becomes defined by one's soul form, and the conditions of reality are determined by the overall condition of the soul within the body. In example, overall states of joy or sorrow, health or decay. We have a soul, we are not our soul, we are the choice that acts upon the soul. Hoid, emotion form. Reality becomes defined by one's emotions. Both quality and form become filtered through the lens of the emotion form, and reality becomes distorted in accordance with the conditional state of the emotional form. We have emotions. We are not our emotions. We are the choice that acts upon emotions. Yisod, mental form. Reality becomes defined by one's thoughts. Both quality and form become filtered through the thought of the mind, and reality becomes distorted according to the perception of the mental form. We have a mind, we are not the mind. We are the choice that acts upon the mind. Malchut, the final form, physical form. Reality becomes defined by the physical comforts and conditions of the body, by which projects and distorts this perception into and onto reality, by which form and experience become altered. We have a body, we are not the body. We are the choice that acts upon the body. Thus, we see the nations are those who operate the lens of reality through the perception of these forms. Of this, we see perception of good and evil amongst these forms. As you will see later in the gates, the true mysteries are not in need of these lower perceptions and are completely divorced and independent of them. So the Torah, yes, well, the Torah then, we have here, Tiferes is the written Torah, right? Written on the tablets of your heart. It's also your heart, Lev. Yaakov. And truth is Emet Le Yaakov. Yaakov stands for the Tiferes, right? And then the oral Torah is found in Malchut. The earth opened its mouth. Oral Torah, written Torah, is your mother's Torah, bariatric Torah, taken together, right? So then we offer our animal forms on the altar on the 8th day, 7 days on the mother, fire offering to Hashem. So that hurts. It's hurt, okay? Let us proceed to the milui. Okay, so truth would then be, and I chose to do it in the milui of Yodim, so with yuds, okay? With yuds, because we are now looking at truth being brought down to us, right? So we want to look at the high value milui, tough, for the tough, reish, for the reish, right? Aviv, for the vav, another tough, for the taf en een hi voor de hey. Hi voor de hey. 406, 510, 22, half taf, 406, and 15. That makes 916, 938, 1344, 1359. 1359, beautiful number. I recently did a video because you can break down the 1,000 and make a 1 of it, okay? You can also see 1,000 is a capital Aleph, which equals also, which is also hinting at the crown. It doesn't equal, this is a 111, but it hints at the higher state. But this is 1,000, right? This is always 1,000. So you could say it's a big Aleph and a 359. Now 359 can be a couple of things. Satan, for example. It's the Inkolel of Mashiach. But if you break down the 1,000 to a 1, you get 360. And then it's base, housed. Mashiach, housed in the Messiah. I'll explain as we go why that is. So, staggering numbers. And I recently did a video on the wrapping of the tefillin. And there's a couple of customs there. First, we bind the forms. Patecha et yadecha umashbia. Shemav is that. We call upon the Shemav, the name of 72. We bind the forms, 7 wrappings where we bind these forms, right? And then when we put the tefillin box on the head and we set it in the right place, then we say, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchutu Le'olam Va'ed. So, blessed be the name of your holy kingdom forever and ever, has exactly the value of 1358. I calculated it many times. I'm not kidding you. And that is Mashiach. So that is Melech HaMashiach. Mashiach. And in the Zohar you often read Mashiach. This hints at King Messiah. That's the Messiah from Keter, from the crown, okay? So, but that's, to go deep into that, there's a whole other study we're doing here, Crown Jewel. I'm showing the glory of the Holy One, blessed be He, is found in everything, okay? In everything. So, what else did I have there for you? So this is really what I just said for the prayer, for the tefillin prayer in the morning, is a response to the Shema. So, yes, I think it would be a good time now to take a look at the word to know. Okay, so, to know. And that was a kuf, right? A nun, a vav, but this is the o of knowing. This is the top of the nail, and that sits here, because this is the nail, the vav. Top of the nail is das. Zet das. And then the W is also a vav, but it means many bindings. And these 7 are bound to the top of the nail, so that what comes from the skull, because Kuf is the skull, what comes from the skull, 50 Bina, so through Bina, through Das, can now enter. And that's why Kuf Nun is also Kan, which is nest. And when you read like Samuel Zaken, then it would be Zayin Kan, and Zayin is 7, then it speaks about this being the nest, disconnected from the skull, okay? So then it is a nest of Samael, which is this lower system, Zandaphon, Metatron, Samael, lower system, 6, I hate, the 7 are an abomination. But now the Kan has bound forms. No, yes, it has the bound forms, but it receives to the top of the nail. Okay? And now you see that the skull can now, through Bina, the 50th gate, enter through the top of the nail because the forms are bound to the center column, and the Or Yashar can enter, which is Yashar El. Okay, so that's the best way I can explain it. What else interesting did I have there? So a couple things really. Let me do it in this order. The value hereof is 162, 162, and 162 can be B'Tselem or Be'etz in the tree. In the tree, we're using in the tree, and this is the tree, right? And man is a tree. That means that the whole tree is lit and connected. That's a man. Be'etz. You also have the Eitz Hadas Toivera, so this could work in various ways, but considering the fact we're handling truth and to know, we're now looking at the real knowledge, right? Not per definition the knowledge of good and evil, but the real knowledge, which was given on Give Har, on the mountain, Torah, right? Brit, Oila. We're focused on that direction where you bind your forms and be a fire offering to Hashem on the 8th day, which is the manner. Okay, so what else did I have here? I had the Gematria. Then I have an ordinal Gematria for you, which is 45. And 45 is Adam. And Adam is a tree, but it's also Ma. What? Here's your Ma. What can I witness to you? What can I liken to you? Reality can I witness to you. Reality can I liken to you. And reality and truth are equal. Okay? They are equal. Objective reality is Ma. What is truth? Emes Yaakov. So the Katan value, so this was ordinal, then you get 19 plus 14 plus 12 was 45. The Katan is again 1 plus 5 is 6 plus 2 more 6s is 18. So the Katan value is 18, which is Chai, life. And wisdom gives life to its possessor, right? Wisdom gives life to its possessor. We're speaking about very good terms here. This is what you want to be looking for. This is what you want to be doing with your life, right? Binding these forms. So now, let's turn it up a notch and then let's take the no, right? And add knowing to it. So then you get a Yud, Nun, Gimel. And Yud, Nun, Gimel is 50 plus 3 plus 10 is 63. 63 is Sag, and Sag is the 8th day Bariatic Torah. So that's precise, okay? That is the way, Bariatic Torah. And we'll read a certain verse in a little bit. Yes, okay, so now we have 63 here, right? But the ordinal value, this was more interesting because the ordinal is then 10 plus 14 plus 3 is 27. And the ordinal value here was 45. And 45 plus 27 is 72. So knowing, real knowing. And this is the value of Av, right? So we're going way up there, okay? So this is not been manifest yet. It is everywhere, of course, but due to our craziness and our nonsense, we distance ourselves from it. But There is hope. This is the start. This is the start. Fire offering. Bind your forms. Let us go to Tehillim 84, verse 4, and some other verses around it. Okay, because we had kan, nest. I want to take a look at this word nest and what surrounds it. So here we go. Psalms 84, Tehillim, verse 4. Even the bird finds its home, and the free bird her nest, where she laid her young. Oh, at your altars, right? Remember a fire offering to Hashem? Hashem, Master of Legions, my King and my God, praiseworthy are those who dwell in your house continually. They will praise you, Selah. Praiseworthy is the man whose strength is in you, those whose heart focus on upward paths. And the heart is Tiferes, those who pass through the valley of thorns, right? Malchut, thorns and thistles. They transform it into a wellspring, right? Also the rain will cloak it with blessings. They advance from strength to strength. Each one will appear before God in Zion. Hashem, God, Master of Legions, hear my prayer. Listen, O God of Jacob. Selah. Look upon our shield, O God, and gaze at your anointed one's face. The word appear here is Yirah in blue. That's awe. One who is in awe fulfills the whole law. One who is not in awe fulfills none of the law. Zohar, Prologue 21, first and foremost precept called Yirah. Okay, very high. Yaakov is mentioned, Emet le Yaakov, and there Pnei Mashiach. So the face of Messiah, the anointed one. And the kaf, the final letter there in the yellow, you see, that is a kaf sofit, and it reaches down all the way to the ground. So what does it carry? Okay, so you see a whole structure here. It says Tzevaot. It names many of the Sefirot. It is really, and the focus here, the hard focus on upward paths. This you should be studying yourself and getting familiar with it. Because once you get these prerequisites and understanding thereof, the reading is not the same anymore, okay? You see the paths upwards, focus on paths upwards, speaks about the heart, right? The left, Tiferes, it speaks about thorns, or it says the Malchut, Hashem Tzavaot, Elohim Tzavaot, right? Then everything becomes clear. You cannot read Torah without prerequisites. It makes no sense. It's not mundane stories about simpleton stories about people and timelines. That's not what it is. Not at all. I want to look at another thing in this nest with all of you. Because you see here that Kuf, Vav, and Nun are situated as the elemental letters connected to Mem. And Kan is nest, right? And this is 150, and this is Vav, is 6. And 156, okay? That's a very interesting number. I'll tell you in a little bit. You see them connected here to water. And Torah, the waters of Torah, it spoke about the wellspring, right? So this nest is a dwelling place. It is also like to the Shekhinah. So there's nests of Samael, but there's also the nest which is the Shekhinah. And there's everything to do with truth and waters of Torah. So I hope that is clear, so that you can see. Then you have here the mother letters Aleph, Mem, Sofit, and Shin, which are the elements, right? Air, water, earth, and fire. Light, energy, variables, gases, right? Liquids and solids. So 156 is also the value of Yosef. That's correct. Yosef is the tzaddik Yesod Olam. So we find him here, situated. So nest, because the bird can walk the ground. You can fly a little bit above. kan, the nest, with daat, right? So we read about the knowledge, which is daat, right? So there is knowledge within the nest. The knowledge is found. We bound the forms, right? The forms are bound. Here's the top of the nail, daas, and here are the bound forms. And now the skull and bina can bring the shefa downwards, right? And the well is filled with waters of Torah. This is your truth, and this is your real knowledge, instead of your toiv and ra, knowledge of good and evil. So that was it. Many blessings until the next video.